Tony Stewart, in a recent interview, said that he doesn't think the Daytona 500 means what it used to mean because there's guys winning it, that's the only race they win, and he thinks there's a little luster that's come off of the Daytona 500. And then I was reminded that the guy we're just talking about doesn't have a whole bunch of wins at the Daytona 500. I don't know if I agree with Tony on that, but there has been some guys that's the only race they win in a couple of years, and it probably guarantees their seat for a little bit longer. But what do you think? Daytona 500 is still the best race to win?
Of course it's the best race to win. It's the Daytona 500. Well, what would you pick? I don't know. You know, Tony's always spoken, and Tony's as true a racer as there ever will be, but I don't know that I, always, align with his thoughts on things. I think if you got to be honest with yourself and say that, restrictor plate racing does kind of even the playing field a little bit in certain ways. The cars are a little bit simpler to drive, and the teams that don't have the same resources, it's a lot easier to make a car low drag than it is to add downforce. So I think it is the great evening factor. So there's probably guys that get in the mix for one of those races to win a race that you might not typically see up front. I think it's fair to be honest about that, but I don't give a shit. You win the Daytona 500, you won the Daytona 500.